Welcome to No Place Like Home, the radio show, coming to you on WRXB 1590 AM and Pinellas County Connection TV. This program is presented to you as an opportunity to hear information that can help you fulfill the dream of owning your very own home. We also share information about upcoming special events and programs to help you enjoy the good life in Pinellas County, as well as other items of interest. The sponsor of this program is the Housing Finance Authority of Pinellas County, which offers the First-Time Homebuyers Program. I'm Carmen Lemberg, alongside Jillian Hills, your host for today's program. Hey, Jillian, I guess I owe you a happy late birthday today, don't I?
Oh, don't remind me.
Come on now, I'm sure you're just a kid.
Oh, there's a zero behind this one. But 'tis the season.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of which, we will be talking about the holidays today.
Yes, we will.
But before we introduce our guest, Carmen has a message from our sponsor.
Thank you, sir. The Housing Finance Authority of Pinellas County is offering the First-Time Homebuyers Program, your key to home ownership, helping people in Pinellas, Pasco, and Polk counties make their dream of home ownership a reality. The First-Time Homebuyer Program is for individuals who have never owned a home, have not owned a home in the last 3 years, or veterans. The HFA offers a low rate on its 30-year fixed-rate mortgage, and if you need a little help with down payment and closing costs, we can also help with that. To get your key to home ownership, visit www.pinellascounty.org/HFA, as in Housing Finance Authority. For more information or comments about the show, call us at 727-223-6419 or email newhome@pinellashfa.com. Julian?
Well, like I said a few seconds ago, we're going to be talking about the holiday season. I don't necessarily call my birthday a holiday. It's one of those periods in between Halloween and Christmas that I try to forget, but
special.
But there's a lot of other people that we could be thinking about.
That's true.
So today we're going to talk about giving during the holidays. There are many in our community who struggle to meet the very basic necessities such as food and shelter. Our guest today is going to speak about ways you, our listeners, can help, as well as programs they offer to help those in need. We'll get into the specifics in just a moment, but first, I'm pleased to introduce our guest, Suzanne Ruley with RCS Pinellas. Suzanne is the Director of Development and joined RCS in late 2015. She has a BFA from Carnegie Mellon University, an MAAA from Goucher College, Certificate in Fundraising Management from Indiana University, Certificate in Fundraising Development from Rollins College. She's working towards a certificate in nonprofit executive leadership from Indiana University. Prior to RCS, she was a manager of grant advocacy, plan giving, and galleries, as well as interim chief development officer at Ruth Eckerd Hall, National Arts Marketing Project Coordinator at Americans for the Arts, and Cultural Affairs Specialist for City of Clearwater. You're pretty amazing. Welcome to No Place Like Home, Suzanne.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
Oh, we're glad to have you. So would you give us a little background on RCS Pinellas and when and how it got started?
Sure. RCS is about ready to celebrate its 50th anniversary. Wow. It was founded in 1967 by 15 congregations of varying faith. They got together and they were discussing issues that were greater than any one congregation could solve, and so they decided to band together and create an entity that could address those issues, which are homelessness, domestic violence, and hunger.
Wow. Well, with the hurricane season coming to an end and the holiday season beginning, I usually clean out my hurricane storage closet and recycle all my food items and look the expiration dates, and if they're not expired, I look for places to donate that food, because there are some things that I have in there that I don't eat on a regular basis, but, during an emergency, you'll eat what you can. Other things I will eat on a regular basis, but I still like to keep things recycled, and giving is a great way to recycle your hurricane closet. How can that help you guys?
Sure. Can I first start with talking about the need in Pinellas County?
Please.
I was surprised when I started with RCS to find out that 17% of Pinellas County residents, including 1 in 4 children, are food insecure. Mm-hmm. And what food insecure means is that they may have flour, butter, oils, and other ingredients in their home, but nothing that is satisfying, and they're unsure where their next meal is going to come from. So between June and November, that's a time when donations are very low to our RCS Food Bank. Although the community need is still high because kids get out of school and families often need to have more food at home. And so it's a very busy season for us. There are less breakfasts at the schools and free lunches. And so we're coming out of that time frame right now, and people are being a little more generous, and we appreciate that. Our food bank is very low, and we need several items, so donations are greatly appreciated.
What kind of donations are you looking for?
Well, right now, the food bank is looking for the following non-perishable items, which are in the highest demands. We always ask for healthy foods, so if you have low sodium or lower fat items, that's great. Canned vegetables, canned fruits, with low sugar is preferred. Canned meats, such as tuna, dried beans, and canned soups. Low sodium again.
Of course, of course.
And of course, we accept cash donations as well.
Always.
It's hard to imagine, but every $1 donated towards the RCS Food Bank can provide a meal for a hungry person through the RCS Food Bank.
Wow. So where's a great place for people to go to drop donations off, or do you have more than one drop-off location?
Great question, Carmen. Food donations can be dropped off just like if you go through a drive-thru at McDonald's. You can come to the RCS Food Bank, which is located at 700 Druid Street in Clearwater, Druid Road, and that's Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. until 3 p.m. And Thursdays we're open late, so you can drop them off until 6:30.
Oh, wonderful.
And businesses, churches, and groups can host food drives. And it's fun and easy to do that. All you have to do is email Donna at the food bank at donna.phillips@rcspinellas.org, or you can call her at the food bank at 443-4031, extension 402, and she'll help you schedule the event, including drop-off and pickup of food bins.
Wonderful.
And also very exciting, the Dali Museum is hosting a food drive in conjunction with their current exhibit. So this exhibit is the work of Ferran Adria. Many consider him to be the world's greatest chef, and his restaurant was the greatest restaurant in the world. And he creates food that is exceptional, and it's breathtakingly beautiful, and meant to be celebrated. But we all know that at the other end of the spectrum of food is hunger, and hunger hurts. So the Dali decided to participate in a food drive from November 1st through the 23rd, and all you have to do is bring a can of good food with you to the Dali and receive a $2 discount off the price of senior or adult museum admission. We're very excited about that.
That is nice.
That is very nice.
And some of your listeners may wonder how they can participate in the food bank and what they would need to do to receive food if they did. The RCS Food Bank serves Clearwater and 21 zip codes around the RCS Food Bank. Those zip codes are listed on the RCS website. Clients need to bring a photo ID, a Social Security card for every household member, and receive whatever recent piece of mail they may have to show their current address. And they don't need to provide any proof of income. They'll receive 3 days worth of food for everyone in their household: meat, fresh fruits and vegetables, sometimes dairy, deli, and eggs, as well as bread and bakery items. And Publix and Walmart are wonderful partners for us, and we pick up perishable and non-perishable food donations from them several times a week. And the people we serve also receive USDA commodities. And they can come back to us once a month to get these foods. And the food bank also sub-distributes food all over Pinellas County. So we know if someone experiences food insecurity, they probably have issues with transportation. So we not only partner with 18 local food pantries in the community, giving them the opportunity to pick up perishable food at no cost from us, but we also distribute USDA commodities to 64 sub-sites between Tarpon Springs and South St. Petersburg. And these include low-income housing, food pantries, churches, as well as centers for seniors, rehabilitation, homeless, domestic violence survivors, and disabled. And in all, our warehouse distributed to over 66,000 people last year, which is greater than the Raymond James Stadium can hold in seats. And our sub-distribution reached about 300,000.
When you say USDA commodities, what do you mean?
Well, the USDA has contracts all over the United States to make sure that goods are distributed for people who need food, and we are a sub-distribution site.
Oh, okay.
And so we are responsible for distributing all over Pinellas County for the USDA commodities, which are mostly canned goods.
Okay.
Wow, Suzanne, that is really just amazing reach that you have in this community with, food insecurity. And, it's, we have so many resources that we really need to start really tapping into them to make sure that these children and families, don't have to experience that. But besides food insecurity, is there other donations that, these people, because you said there might be other issues like transportation and other things that they're lacking. Are there other sorts of donations that they need, in order to sustain them as well?
Well, the RCS thrift store, we actually have two sides of this business. One of them is obviously to do sales to the community at a reasonable cost so people can get items that they need. But on the other side of the business is participants in our programs can come to us with a voucher from our programs and receive goods at no cost.
Oh.
So, are you, like, if we bring in some clothes and stuff and they need some clothes for the kids or for them, they could come in and pick up some clothing items, and with the cooler temperatures and stuff coming down, people could bring in coats and stuff. That would be good, and blankets.
Yes, well, the other programs serve homeless families and domestic violence victims, and often those people who come to us from those programs come with nothing but what they have on their backs.
Sure.
And so we offer vouchers for them to go shopping and get what they need, whether it's work clothes or maybe it's when they're ready to leave us, because we have housing for them. When they're ready to move on, we can give them pots and pans and towels and dishes and items that they'll need to get back to their normal life.
And where are the locations where they can drop off items for the thrift store?
Well, the thrift store is on East Bay in Largo. Or you could drop some items off at our administrative office, which is at 503 South Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue.
Okay, and that's where?
In Clearwater. In Clearwater,
right.
Yes.
I just wanted to make sure we got that in there so our people would know where to drop stuff off. So you said the thrift store takes clothing and other things. So when you give them items to get them started, are those donations too? And what kind of donations are those? Like pots and pans and
Pots and pans, towels, blankets, jewelry, purses. And we also, of course, for the revenue side, because that money goes back into our programs, collectibles and jewelry and purses are usually our best sellers.
Okay.
Oh, really?
In fact, I would also like to share that we don't ever turn away cash donations. RCS is actually a 4-star rated charity with a Charity Navigator, which is a nonprofit watchdog group. Less than 10% of our expenses go towards administrative and fundraising. And in fact, this year, Tampa Bay Business Journal rated us as one of the top 10 charities in all of Tampa Bay, which we are just so honored to be.
That is very
And if you want to give us cash, you could send a check to our administrative office or donate online on our website.
I know one year we had collected gift cards for like at Publix and then drop them off to places. Would that be something that would be appropriate? We had, at the grocery store, so then you guys could go shopping and get what you needed?
Yes, if you wanted to drop off gift certificates to Publix or Target or gas stations or bus passes, those are greatly appreciated.
Yeah.
In fact, our programs also have an Adoptive family program at the Haven of RCS, which is our domestic violence program. And if a family wanted to adopt a family, they can call us and let us know. We'll let them know what the family needs. We also have a sponsor a family at the RCS Grace House, which is the homeless families. And just make sure that if you're going to bring items like that to donate, that nothing requires batteries or that they're large, because that's a cost to the participants to make sure that it continues to work. And children get very disappointed when their toys don't make the same sound. And often when they move from us, they have small spaces, so they can't accommodate things like Barbie dream homes or things like that.
Now, I couldn't remember. Did you say there was more than one drop-off location?
Yes, we have the administrative office, which is at 503 South Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue. And the other one is at the RCS Thrift Store, which is 2960 East Bay Drive in Largo. And that's open Monday through Saturday, and it could be dropped off between 10 and 6.
Wow.
And if you had items that you wanted to donate to the RCS thrift store that are things like you're cleaning out an apartment or you have large furniture or a lot of items, we can arrange to have a truck come and pick that up.
Oh.
Well, that would be good.
Yeah, that cuts out a lot of work for people's holiday.
Because I know that before, for me, when I have had furniture that I was ready to trade out, but it still had good life in it. It wasn't broken down or anything. And I'd made a few calls, and everybody's like, no, we don't come pick up furniture anymore. And I thought, well, gosh, I don't want to just
throw it away.
I want to make some change in my house, but I don't want to just throw away something that still has life in it.
Just give us a couple days or maybe a week to pick up. Some people call and they say, we need it gone in 2 hours. I can't do that.
That's not going to happen.
No.
So you had mentioned that some of the other challenges that you help citizens in our community are with the homelessness and the domestic violence. And so if our citizens are facing those situations, how would they get in touch with you?
Well, usually the first line is Tampa Bay 211, which is a crisis call line. And so they can call there and they can get referrals because sometimes our homeless program is full. And so they have actually a database where they know where there's room available throughout Pinellas County.
Wow.
So that would be the first line. Of course, you can always call us and we can help you if we have space, or we'd probably refer you back to 211. And then we also, if you are in a domestic violence situation, or maybe you have a family member that you fear is in a domestic violence situation, you can always call RCS, the hotline, and or there's the Florida Coalition Against Domestic Violence. They have a hotline too to call.
And how many homeless people do you serve in your program that helps these people?
Well, I'll say that in Pinellas County there are about 7,000 homeless people, including about 1/3 of that is children.
Wow.
Every year there's a homeless count, and those numbers are there. That number. Plus, some people who are incarcerated, or maybe they're in the schools, but they're not necessarily tied to those original numbers. And last year we served 477 individuals through the homeless family program. And through the domestic violence program, sadly, 1 in 4 women, some numbers say 1 in 3 women are affected by domestic violence in their lifetime. Sometimes they have to face it, and that could be financial abuse, that could be verbal abuse, emotional abuse, or physical abuse, sexual abuse. It's hard to get out of that because the person who is abusing you is somebody that you feel that you're intimate with, whether it's a spouse or a partner or a parent or a relative. And sadly, they often return to their abuser 7 to 10 times before they decide to actually make that break. Last year, we served 22,000 women and children through our program. And the program has several elements to it. We have an outreach program which provides peer support groups. We have a 24/7 hotline. We have we go and do injunctions in the courtrooms and the courthouses to help people fill out the paperwork in a way that is will most benefit them. Because obviously there's staff there who can help people through the process of filling out the paperwork. But when you're under an immense amount of stress and in a moment of crisis, sometimes you don't write things down in the way that most benefits you. So we also can go in for hearings and support women who have to face their abusers. And we also have some in-kind attorneys who come in and can help guide the women and answer their questions that they may have about keeping their children or what their rights are.
Wow.
We also have an emergency safe house. So when a woman and her children no longer feel safe in their own home, they can come and live with us for up to 45 days.
That is fantastic.
And how is the facility set up? How many beds do you have? What kind of housing are they?
We have 36 beds in the domestic violence program, and there's living spaces in there. They have access to a kitchen. We provide everything they need. Often they come to us with nothing, so we have all the toiletries, and we have some wardrobe that they can access right away. They have the food that's provided, and then there's like a living area that's kind of very nice with couches and chairs and TVs and things like that.
Good.
Wow.
And it's all secure and confidential. Every service that we offer is confidential and private.
Good. That's so important.
That's important.
So another aspect I think that people can help with is volunteering with your organization. So if someone wanted to come and volunteer, what sort of people are you looking for? What could they do? Tell us a little about that.
Every week we need 300 volunteers to fulfill all of the volunteer needs. We're about 75% run by volunteers, which is what keeps our administrative costs so low.
Exactly.
Yeah, and we love our volunteers. They're wonderful, and they serve at the food bank. And at the food bank, they can do anything from being an assistant driver and picking up bread. As I said, we're driving all over the place, picking up food from Publix and Walmart, so they can assist in that. Then we're turning around, we're delivering the food all over the place. So we need help with that. Somebody who can sit and remind them where we're going next, or helping unload the food. We need people to come in and receive the food donations as they're coming in from donors, and making sure that they're marked and sorted, and that they're put in shopping carts and distributed. We need people to help do intake at the computers, to make sure that we have all of the participants' information on hand.
Sure.
We need at the RCS, the haven of RCS, we need injunction help. These are not necessarily attorneys or somebody who has legal knowledge, but they are critical thinkers, and they're willing to volunteer during the day and help our people who are coming in to fill out injunctions. And we would obviously train them to help with that. And we have 2 positions that are open on Friday morning at the RCS Grace House. That's the homeless family program, to help in what's called Jillian's Rainbow Room. It's the happiest place in all of our programs. It's brightly painted and lovely, and it smells of fresh bread. And we just need somebody there on Friday mornings to just help sort and clean up and renew and refresh the room for the next week.
Now,
Wonderful.
You said this is on Friday mornings, but some of the other services, are there certain dates and times that people volunteer, or is it just whenever needed? When do people volunteer?
Well, they would call us. They'd call our volunteer manager, and that number is 727-584-3528, extension 407, and they would talk to Christy, and Christy would bring them in for an orientation, a 1-hour class, and then based upon the person's interests and desires and experience, we would help place them for one of the jobs. But they're mostly Monday through Friday. On the weekends, we don't really, except for maybe one program, we don't really need volunteers for the weekends.
Wow, that's just amazing. I can't believe that one place can do so much to help so many in our community.
I didn't say much about the RCS Grace House. That's the homeless family program. We just recently expanded it. We served, as I said, 477 people last year. It's about 65% children.
Wow.
The average age of a participant there is about 15 years old. And now we have heavy case management that helps them become self-sufficient. That is the goal.
Wow.
They have to get a job within 1 or 2 weeks of being there.
Wow.
And we provide training throughout their time. And then when they're done, they can stay with us for up to 8 weeks. We will continue to do case management for the next year, which is when people are the most vulnerable to fall back into homelessness or poor habits or have a problem, like if they start missing car payments or things like that. So we can help guide them and point them in the direction of resources.
That is wonderful.
That is. So you work with local businesses to help, place people there in positions and stuff as well?
We're very much into them becoming self-sufficient, so we will guide them in the direction that they need to go.
Okay.
So, but we don't actually plug people into jobs.
Okay.
Okay.
Wonderful.
What is the best way for those in need of assistance to contact you?
Well, if they are hungry and they live within the 21 zip codes, they can come to us during our hours of operation, which is 12:30 until 3:30, Monday through Friday.
Mm-hmm.
If they're from outside the county, just look at our website. We have links to other locations that they can go to and other resources. If they're homeless, dial 211.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the Tampa Bay Cares number, and they can help guide them as to where the best place to go. And if they have domestic violence issues, then they should call our hotline, and that's open 24/7, and they will help them. Or they can call the Florida Coalition Against Domestic Violence.
Have you found a lot of people who come to you for assistance? How do they hear about you mainly?
Probably word of mouth.
Really?
Or they dial the 211 number, or they hear about it from congregations because, as I said, we were founded by congregations, and so there's a network out there that most people turn to their faith when they start having problems.
Exactly.
So they often hear about us from there too.
Exactly. And one more time, what is your website?
Our website is www.rcspinellas.org.
Wonderful. I want to make sure that people had that so they could go online, go to libraries if they need to, if they don't have computers at home. But at least then they can, see a little bit more about you. And, of course, 211 is always a great resource and can get people over to help you, too. So that's, wow, I'm really impressed with how many people you help and the variety of services you guys offer. It's incredible.
Thank you.
Yeah, I had no idea that there were so many children in this area affected. How does that affect them as far as their education and going to school?
Being in constant crisis is a big challenge for families. Children often are more likely to have health issues, fall behind in school, even if it's just hunger. I mean, hunger hurts, and I know what hunger feels like, but I can't imagine what true hunger is, which is when you're not getting the nutrients and you're not getting the calories at the same time. I can fill up on non-nutrient rich foods very easily, but it doesn't satisfy your body's needs.
No, it
and
doesn't.
Children who don't know where they're going to sleep, how can they sit down and concentrate on math or reading or
it's really
history?
hard to do your homework if you're sitting in the back seat of your car to live in.
Oh my gosh, absolutely.
I can't imagine. Well, you guys are doing such amazing work, and we're so thankful that there's organizations like you here in Pinellas County to help our community. So we only have, I can't believe this conference. It was so riveting and just so informational. Can't believe we're almost done. We only have a couple of moments left. So I'd like to thank you, Suzanne, for coming with us and providing us with all this helpful information. Thank you for listening to us on WRXB 1590 AM and watching us on Pinellas County Connection TV. If you missed any part of the show or would like to view past shows, check out our website or YouTube. I'm Julian Hill.
And I'm Carmen Lemberg.
Thanks for tuning in and make it a great day. And thanks again, Suzanne, for joining us.